Yes.
My name is Aiden Mashburn with Shine Messenger. I was wondering what the best piece of advice you received from another musician is.
From another musician, that's good. Somebody once said to me that they felt there was like a glass ceiling on writing songs about God. They said that, but then the person that was telling me this said they heard that. They heard an artist say that, and they felt like there's no glass ceiling because God's in everything we do. So if you're writing a song about a relationship with somebody, whether romantic or a friendship or a fight you had with somebody, or the time you walked away from someone, I mean, you're kind of working all that through your heart as it relates to God as a believer. So I think you can write a song about anything that you walk through as a believer, and it's a God song.
Hey Toby, what's God teaching you right now?
Right now, still kind of powering through some grief, but God is teaching me that really more than anything that moment by moment, no matter what, I tend to look ahead. You know, even on like writing songs and stuff, I'm looking to the next thing. That I just finished a record, I just put it out, I'm already trying to write new ones. So like it's just the way I'm wired, right? But I think God is really bearing down on me to realize that every appointment throughout my day is Him putting this person in front of me, or Him giving me this moment of time for peace, or Him speaking to me through someone. Like every one of these things. So trying to just stay in that literal moment, and trying to serve God, not Toby. If I dare call Him Lord, that makes me a servant. And a servant waits on the request of his Lord. And that's how I want to live.
How does it feel to have this song recognized? Make some noise for
I mean, what I do every day is, most of my life I've toured, you know what I mean? I've done hundreds of shows a year, really. So I'm a person that recognizes that when God gives you a gift, in my case, in your case, it's doing interviews, clearly. In my case, it's maybe doing music. And all of us have a lot of gifts. He doesn't just give us one, usually. I'm a dad, too, and I'm a husband. But the gift He gave me of music is, I look at it as if He gives you a gift, He's giving it to you not to put music out and take from the people, but to put it out there and serve them. And pray that God includes you in His process of turning eyes to Him. And so because of that, it means so much to me that fans would choose my song, even to be nominated. But there's so much great art out there. Awards are hard because there's so many people making amazing art that doesn't get that notoriety. And I would love to represent and shine a light on all those people, especially when you're doing it for the glory of God. Yeah.
Piggybacking on what you're saying before, you show up so vulnerably. Can you just talk about how to show up when you don't feel like it, whether it's an event like this or whether it's in your home?
Yeah, I just think, you know, I mean, I feel like I answered it kinda, like I just feel like if the invitation comes to come here, if God opens the door, I'm supposed to step through it and do what He wants me to there. You know, and I've done this for a lot of years, as most of you know, and like, I think there might have been years where I was confused about that. But now more than ever, I recognize that if I ask God before I do anything, will you close the door or open the door? Can you please do that for me? Like, God, would you be kind enough to me to make it clear what doors open, what doors close? And if you open a door, I'll step through it. And that's how I try to serve.
I know that you're an artist, and I'm an artist, and I'm also
Prayers that have gotten me through. Just give me a glimpse of what eternity looks like. Help me to live in that. Like, it's so easy to focus on what's going on down here, and when something brings us pain, it's really easy to think it's darkness. But when I read the Bible, and I read the Bible a lot, like I love the Bible. I start in Genesis and read to Revelation. I try to do it every 2 years. And the God I know there, the God that I've become familiar with, he has this great eternal plan that I count on. And sometimes things that on earth, short, it might be better for that person and better for me. How can it be better? But I am counting on it. I am counting on the fact that it was better for who we lost and better for us somehow in the eternal realm. I'm counting on that. I'm going down with that thought and that belief and that faith.
One more question.
I'll get you both. Don't worry, velvet's nice.
Scott with Worship Road Radio in Vancouver. You're a legend in the industry, obviously. Give us a brief state of the industry from your perspective.
I think the state of the industry is amazing. I think there's a freshness coming that we've needed for a while. And I'm so grateful to get to watch it bloom right in front of me. You know what I mean? I've kind of thought for a while that like we need something really fresh to come in. And I feel like, you know, with Forrest and Brandon, Phil, Jamie McDonald, I mean, there's just a bunch of artists, John Reddick, Terry, and I mean, these are artists that are coming out, and I think it feels really fresh. And I'm like, I feel almost like a little responsibility for our industry because I love it, and I've done it my whole life. I've served, you know, Christian music my whole life, and Christian music has kind of served me its whole life. So, like, I care for it. I sort of want to shepherd it a little. Not that it's my responsibility, but hey, I care. I've done it my whole life. So to see this sort of fresh air breathe through, it excites me. And it tells me, okay, we're okay. Yeah.
Tracy Fonz with Novel Photos. I've been an amateur musician, very amateur, my whole life.
Me too.
And one thing about musicians is they pretty much all have some kind of ego. Even Christian musicians, even worship teams.
Everyone on earth has some kind of ego, but go ahead. I agree with you.
If you have worked with so many different people, how do you keep that ego from overcoming what you're doing, what you're trying to get out?
I think I have a few answers to that. One is that I never really wanted this. I kind of stumbled into it. So, like, if it was my dream since I was 6 that I'm going to be on stage and sing God songs, I think maybe I would struggle with ego a little more, but I never really wanted this. I kind of fell into it. And then secondly, I just recognize that God is really big and I'm really little. And that will humble you quick. Also, you know, I'm kind of a grinder. Like there's some people that can walk on stage and just sing a song and it's effortless and it's incredible. Those kind of gifts, that's a tougher gift to shoulder. I gotta work really hard. I always have at writing songs. I'm kind of like I call myself a songwriter disguised as a pop artist. Really, I'm a songwriter. That's what I do. I've written my songs from DC Talk to today because I love writing songs. I love communicating the goodness of God, the layers of God in songs.
How does that work with help or hurt relationships with others?
How does it, with me? I'm good with everybody. I'm Switzerland.
Thank you, guys.
Anybody else? I'm cool with Velvet. Is someone waiting? Oh, I'm good. Go ahead. I didn't come here to sit out there. Yes, go ahead.
I'm Connell Young with ShineCast Studios, and I was just wondering, for your listeners, what is the biggest message that you're trying to get across through your music?
My prayer from the beginning of my career has always been writing songs that turn people's eyes to the King. So that's my biggest hope. That's what I pray before I write any song. God, give me something that turns people's eyes to you. Give me a song that would reunite someone with you that walked away, you know? So yeah. Yes.
Toby, what do you like to do to rejuvenate, and maybe what's on your top 3 list for your, like a bucket list?
Bucket list. These questions are hard. I'm kidding. Velvet, we're done. No, bucket list, I think to finish well. You know, I've been doing this for a while. Would be a bucket list thing, just to finish well, man, to absolutely be in love with my wife when we slow down a little. And I am in love with her, and I'm thankful that she tells me she's in love with me anyway. Yeah, those would be kind of bucket list things. What was your first part of it?
What do you like to do to rejuvenate?
Oh, rejuvenate, I like to walk. I walk. I actually walk on a golf course with a bag on my shoulder, but I walk. Yeah.
What was your most impactful part of your journey in your singing career?
My most probably the end of DC Talk, my first band. You weren't born yet. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do. You know, Michael and Kevin wanted to make solo records, and I just was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I got offered this opportunity to do a song for a soundtrack called Extreme Days. So I did this rock rap thing, which is how I came up a rapper, really. So then I stuck my little toe in the water. I never thought I would into something where I did it myself with a band, and it kind of worked, and I just kept stepping through the doors that God opened. But my wife and I actually talked about it today. There was a scary moment there when when DC Talk sort of said, we're gonna stop, and I just didn't know what I was gonna do. But God is faithful and kind. Yep.
So just kind of piggyback off of the rejuvenating question. You and I are close to the same age. I just recently saw you perform. You're still jumping and dancing and moving like you did back in the day. So how do you get up and walk the next day?
I don't know. I grew up in a sports family more than a music family. So I still play a lot of sports, basketball, tennis. I'm not gonna say pickleball yet, but one day it's coming. One day, y'all, one day. But yeah, I mean, I've always been into athletics, and I'm not a gym dude, but I'm always moving. I can't sit around. So just kind of who I am. Plus, I've never come off stage, so I didn't have to deal with slowing down. You know what I mean? If you do something every night, you know, you can still keep doing it. All right, a couple more. I'm not taking one from Joey anyway. Go ahead. I'm just kidding, Joey.
My name is Seth Parkinson. I'm from the Shine magazine. How do you stay spiritually grounded while touring or recording?
Good question. I love the Bible. I read it every day. I think it's important. I have a philosophy where God speaks to us through His Word, and we speak to Him through prayer. So if I'm not talking to God and He's not talking to me, so if I'm not reading the Word and praying, do I really have a relationship with God at all? So I think, like, relating to God is the most important thing. That's how I stay, like, what was your question? How do I stay what?
Spiritually grounded.
That's how I stay grounded, just by communicating with God and looking for Him to communicate with me through His Word. If that thing's happening, grounding is happening, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, last one, Joey.
Okay, so you have
you and Amanda have visited her home country of Jamaica, right?
Many times,
Yeah.
yes.
So when you go back to Jamaica every now and then, where's your mindset is when you ever come to Jamaica? Because it's always a different approach every time you come back though. Like whether it's like exploration or like finding yourself or recharging.
Where's my mindset when I go to Jamaica?
Yeah.
I think it's just taking in my wife's, where she's from. Her family is amazing. Her dad actually, he's 85 years old. He taught me how to love God. He truly, like I grew up in a Christian home, but he taught me how to have a relationship with the King. And just watching him live. Also, just Jamaicans in general are super positive people. Sometimes they, when you go to a country like that, there's some rough areas where they don't, they don't have all the things we have in a first world country, but the joy that they have, which I know people say that whenever they go on a mission trip, but it's just true. It's just true. I think that's beautiful. I think her family's beautiful, and I think just the country's raw and beautiful, and I see God in everything. Oh, thank you. All right, thank you guys.